guys, Linda Ford here. When I was growing up, I used to believe that talented and successful people, I used to call them lucky people, that they were actually born that way, right? That they had this built-in advantage over others. They were just born with some kind of secret sauce that I wasn't. And it was just a case of some people had it and others didn't. I just kind of always thought that way. Now, over the years, I have really enjoyed reading countless biographies of famous people. And what's really stood out to me more than anything else is how many of these people just didn't wake up one day and start writing brilliant songs or, playing the guitar really brilliantly or finding, their audience. That they actually put in the time and effort to hone their craft, and also just to take the risk of putting their work out into the world, regardless of what others were going to say about them, right? Now, as a kid, I was kind of led to believe that they just woke up one day and did these things. I don't know. It's kind of the myth that I lived through. And through reading their backstories in these biographies, I really came to see that there was actually a lot going on behind the scenes that I never knew about when I was a child. I never knew that. So, for example, let me give you an example. Rolling Stones guitarist Keith Richards. Now, I read his biography a few years ago, and it's amazing. Highly recommend it. And in it, he writes about how he used to actually sleep with his guitar. He'd be practicing at night and he'd fall asleep with it and actually sleep with it next to him. And then he'd wake up in the morning or in the middle of the night and start practicing again before getting out of bed, right? He was a practice fanatic. And as many of these young musicians were, the Beatles, he was actually obsessed with being a great player. So, there's no mystery. There's no mystery about why he became a master at his craft. And as disappointing as that may sound to some of us, it's actually the truth. And then there's another example of Bob Dylan. Now, what I learned about him, that he has been the most criticized and ridiculed artist ever. Many people just hate his voice and claim that he just can't sing. And but despite all of that, he continued to write and sing, and lo and behold, he won the Nobel Prize for, was it poetry or literature last year or the year before? Go figure. So, for those of you who are wanting to put your stuff out into the world, maybe you're an artist, a writer, maybe you're a blog writer, maybe you want to write a book, maybe you're a performer, or you just have some skill that you want to turn it into a livelihood, and that requires putting your stuff out there. And so that can be kind of scary, right? But you should also know that your craft, whatever it is you're trying to do, it's never going to be perfect. And you shouldn't wait until it is, right? Now, that's not to say that you shouldn't prepare yourself to be ready, You shouldn't be putting stuff out there that's sloppy, that you're not proud of. And we all know when we're doing sloppy work. But, and here's the thing, we should also know that it's never, ever, ever going to be completely ready, right? That need for perfection and you're holding back is actually a symptom of fear. It's you feeling the fear of that. And fear is something that you are always going to feel. It is never going to go away. Never, ever, ever. So you just have to understand what it is and what your relationship is with it. You need to get clear on that. You can't push it away because it's just part of being human. Now, it's not that some people are geniuses and they never doubt their abilities or feel the fear of criticism. It's just, here's the difference. Those people have learned how to dance with their fear. That's all it is. And when they first started practicing their craft, I can guarantee you they were probably terrible. You know, when we first start doing anything, things never usually start out well. But they do get better, right? They do. So the trick is that we just have to keep doing our craft. So instead of getting caught up in the fear, right? Instead of buying into that myth that, you know, you don't have what it takes, what you can do is just stand back and notice how you're thinking about these things, right? It's kind of very meta. It's like you notice what you're thinking. You don't have to know why you're thinking that way, because that's not really important. You'll just get caught up in a big swamp. But just notice. Mind wants to wander. The mind wants to take you there, and that's just normal. So what I have come to see is that this emergence of capability, of talents, of gifts, is about making decisions. That's all it is. It's about you in that moment making decisions, moment to moment. And it's about you choosing to do the work, to keep going, right? And when you do, you're going to discover what all of those talented and famous people have. And you're also going to discover that you also have had that all along. Whatever they've had, you have. Thanks for listening.